Hey guys, in this video I'm looking at the SM7B by Shure and the Electro-Voice RE20. These are both broadcast grade dynamic microphones. Radio stations, professional podcasters might use them. I think the RE20 is also used by some people, some drum kits. The Shure comes with a box, comes with two foam windscreens. One's big, one's small, depending on how bad your mic technique is. You might want the bigger one. The Electro-Voice comes with a case, comes with a mic clip, but not much else. The shock mount and the foam windscreen you have to buy third party, or the official ones are quite expensive, and I chose not to opt into them. The third party ones I got here seem to work just fine. I added a foam windscreen on because I was getting a little bit of plosives when using it. Yeah, I don't really use the RE20 much anymore. I tend to use just the SM7B. And the reason is, well, let me show you. I have both microphones feeding into the sound Devices USBPre2. And the sound level is at the same output. So if I speak into it, they both are at the same level. You might tell that the SM7B has slightly higher gain than the RE20, but only a little bit. So technically the SM7B should be the noisier microphone, but let's do a test. Okay, so while the SM7B has some high levels of white noise, I find I'm able to treat the white noise pretty easily in post-processing. The RE20 picks up some electromagnetic interference, I find. If I spin the microphone, for example, around in a circle, it changes the frequency of the electromagnetic interference pattern, and so I can kind of hear that there's something behind a wall making noise. Because I can't really easily control that factor in this room, I tend to not use the microphone as much. It's hard for me to get rid of that in post-processing, that noise. But it is a classic, and I do like it, so I do just keep it around. You do need a really good preamp for both these microphones. If you have like a Zoom H6, that's not going to be good enough. It's way too much noise. A lot of people recommend cloud lifters or some type of mic preamp. I own a cloud lifter. They're a little expensive for what you're getting. I think you're better off just buying a good preamp to begin with if you're using the SM7B or RE20. It's really only if you have no other option that I would recommend a cloud lifter. If you have a Zoom H6 and you want to go portable, the cloud lifter might make a lot of sense in that case. Still not going to be a noise-free solution, but it will get it up to adequate levels, and you can then treat the remaining noise with a software noise filter. I put most of my stuff through a noise filtering software filter called Isotope RX6 plugins. It has a plugin called the Dialogue Denoiser, and I use that, and it gets rid of any of the remaining noise I find. So instead of trying to chase $1 million preamps, $100 into a noise filter plugin, and you get good enough results. I'll do a quick audio test between these microphones. I'll speak into both of them, and then I'll just ramble on for another minute. Cool. This is a test of the Shure SM7B dynamic microphone. I'm speaking into it from about 3 inches away. And this is the RE20 dynamic microphone. I'm speaking into it from about 3 inches away also. Now I'm speaking about 6 inches away from both microphones, and speaking between both of them from about 6 inches. I'll just switch back and forth between the two so you can hear the difference. They both sound really nice to me. They're both really good on a deep male voice, I find. If you have that broadcast quality demand where you want that rich proximity effect sound, and you also want to reject all the background noise in the room. These two microphones are both excellent choices, I find. I was sold the RE20 by someone who was doing podcasts, but found that the RE320, the newer baby brother of the RE20, actually sounded better on their voice. They had a slightly more effeminate voice, and so they found the treble and clarity of that microphone complementing their voice better than the RE20. But I tend to like the rich, low, deep sounds of the RE20, so to each their own. I've tried several different preamps with these microphones. The USBPre2 is currently my favorite preamp, just because it does a good job in every regard. It was about $900 US though to buy. Really expensive. I've also tried the Zoom H6, way too noisy unless you add the cloud lifter in line with it, and then the cloud lifter can make it, the Zoom H6, reasonable. The M Audio M Track 2 Mark II, that particular preamp, if you crank it to full volume, full gain, it just barely is adequate, I find, for the SM7B. Adding a cloud lifter in line with it doesn't really add anything except for additional gain. It doesn't really help with the noise. Mackie preamps, the Mackie mixer preamps are pretty good if you go for the upper end mixers. The Firewire versions tend to work pretty well, I find. Not noise free, but not bad. The very budget Mackie mixers, on the other hand, $99 ones, they have a very low mic impedance level, I find, and so it kind of warps the sound of them. By having a low mic impedance, you end up having more of a treble-ish, nasally tone, I find. So again, it's really hard. A lot of trial and error, and I've decided that the USBPre2 is my go-to choice for these microphones, and I'll probably end up purchasing the Sound Devices MixPre3 at some point, or maybe something even else. I have a MKH 416 by Sennheiser above me right now, but it's not plugged in. I only have 2 mic inputs on this. It would be kind of nice to have that third mic input, because I could then do a conversation with a boom mic overhead. And then I could sell my Zoom and replace it with the MixPre. That's the plan, I think, at least. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm using the Panasonic G85 4K video camera to record this video. And yeah, I'll follow up with more stuff coming soon. Bye, guys.